Hello. It is great to be here with you here in September. Now that we're on the other side of summer and stepping quickly into the fall season. Um, so, as I indicated in the last video clip, the frame for these messages that come out to you are really what we want to do is put them in the framework of navigating now. Navigating the now moment of what's top of mind for people in the world of work and in career management and the job market and transition and all those pieces. So what's happening now? What's top of mind for people? We've gotten tons of questions about the Great Resignation. The Great Resignation, right? So what I want to do is talk about that today from an individual standpoint. Down the road, we're going to write, actually, as we speak, we'll be writing a blog about, what does that mean from an organizational standpoint. But today, we really want to talk about what does that mean for you? What does that mean for each and every one of you? That regardless of how happy you are within your current job, that there are those days that all of us daydream and say, what if? What if we just chuck all of this and do something else? So there's a couple of things in play with that kind of line of thinking. One is we always get then kind of rein back in with, well, is it even possible? Can I even afford to? Am I willing to make the changes and sacrifices necessary to make a big, bold change? Then there's am I willing to give up what I know? And what I know to be familiar, even if you're not necessarily always crazy about it. Thirdly, you might be all in saying, maybe now's the time, but you're not much of a risk taker. And taking that big step into something that's a little bit unknown and unclear can be pretty darn scary. So that causes people to pause. Secondly, as part of this Great Resignation, a sense of pause has been imposed upon us by the pandemic. We were forced into pause a year ago. And so it really prompted people to step back and think, what do I like in my work? What do I not like in my work? As they daydream about future and possibility, it's then what would I do? I don't know people say to me, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what that is. I just know it may not be this or a version of this. And so, the Great Resignation has brought all of that to the forefront. And it is causing trepidation and turbulence within individuals, but also within the job market and within places of work as employees want something different. And those of you that are leaders and managers certainly have seen this and are wondering, what does this mean for how we do our work if people are wanting something different from their work? So in this time where people are like the Great Resignation, I think it's time to be grounded in what matters. What matters? What's working? What isn't working? That's an easy kind of plus and minuses list. What's working? What isn't working? And then, can you possibly craft it in your current situation? Actually, that's an actual term. It's called career crafting. Can you actually do that in your current situation? And more conversations are happening between employees and employers about the dynamic of the world of work in terms of how people work, whether it's remotely, whether it's hybrid, is that for now, is that forever? Those conversations are happening and will continue to happen over time. Secondly, really ask yourself what matters. How can I make sure that the work that I do matches with my ever-evolving priorities and values? And I talked about that in a previous video clip in greater detail, but it's really brought things to the forefront. So where we're seeing this Great Resignation is not just people who are horribly disgruntled. It's people who might be generally satisfied, but are daring to dream and consider something else. We're also seeing it regardless of age. I see it with clients that are 60, 50, sometimes even late 40s. How they're asking themselves, how can I accelerate to a different way of working, a different way of balancing my life and my work life? And so, we're having those conversations. We also have a subset of clients that are truly at pre-retirement, and so they're trying to figure out what do they do next to, to help them segue into that true time of retirement, which as a word I struggle with as a counselor and career counselor, because people these days are really not retiring; they're just rebalancing their lives and their priorities, and still doing and contributing in meaningful ways. And so this whole idea of the Great Resignation, we're not done hearing about that. And like I said, we're going to write more in our blog about what this means for organizations and in the job market. But as I continue to have conversations with people, please know that I will bring those observations and learnings to this format, hoping it's helpful to you if you are one of those people, just kind of wondering, is this time to consider something else? So on on another side, cultivating careers is excited to come back to the office, but unfortunately we've needed to dial that back to virtual through October until the pandemic tails and trails off. And then we're excited to return to the office and invite clients to join us there. So please watch and listen for those updates along the way. Lastly, if you or anybody is asking themselves, right, what if, what else, and what if, early on in Cultivating Careers, I wrote about a book called Navigating Through Now What, and we still have copies. And so what we've done is we've offered it to people as a means to start to think about this. And we're happy to send people a free copy. Just send me an email and we're happy to get a copy to you. So until then, please continue to be healthy and well, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.